Good evening, everybody. We've got some breaking news in Ukraine tonight. Thanks so much for joining us here on Facebook Live at 10 o'clock. We'll get with Angela in a moment, find out about your forecast for Friday and the upcoming weekend. And I think you're going to like what you're going to see in terms of the forecast on Saturday. Let us know where you're watching Facebook Live. We'll give you a shout out over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Dave Calabro will be along. We'll get some good news from him. And we'll also be talking about a vigil that took place tonight for Ukraine in Mooresville, Indiana. Emily Longnecker will be joining us, but I want to show you some video of what's been happening in Ukraine tonight. The video that you're seeing here, Russian forces have been shelling Europe's biggest nuclear power plant. This is in Ukraine. A spokesperson at the plant tonight now demanding Russia stop the heavy weapons fire, saying there is a real threat of nuclear danger. This nuclear power plant accounts for about a quarter of Ukraine's power generation, and now one of the 6 reactors there is reportedly on fire. Firefighters apparently can't get near the fire because of gunshots in the area. Tonight, President Biden has been talking with Ukrainian President Zelensky. They're both urging Russia to cease its military activities in the area, allow firefighters and emergency responders access to this site. Again, this is Europe's biggest nuclear power plant. We're going to be monitoring this and have more for you coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. But we do want to turn our attention to what happened in Mooresville tonight, because as we've been reporting on the news all week long, there's been so much support across Indiana for the effort underway in Ukraine. Let's bring in Emily Longnecker. So, Em, you were in Mooresville tonight. Tell us about your story.
Yeah, Scott, it was for a small little prayer vigil just in downtown Mooresville. Some folks gathered, about a dozen. Some people brought their kids, and they were there to light candles and basically pray for Ukraine and, what's going on there right now. They have been watching the images all week, like most of the world, seeing the pictures of the women and children fleeing, people crying, the buildings destroyed, and, they feel helpless watching that. So they thought the one thing that they could come and do was pray. And that's what they did. And they said they're not going to stop doing that. Their hearts really go out to the people going through this right now. And they just wanted to talk about that and kind of come together. And again, it was a small group, as you can see there from the video, not very large, but they were, gathered for one reason. And that was to send their prayers and wishes and thoughts to people in Ukraine.
All right, Em, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're still working on your story, and we'll be watching it tonight on 13 News at 11, part of our big picture story as we continue to look at the crisis that is unfolding in Ukraine. There's Emily Longnecker. Thanks so much, Em. All right, so let's go ahead and turn our attention now to the weather, give you a snapshot of what's been happening across central Indiana. And Angela's with us, and today, boy, it was a shock to the system after yesterday's really nice weather, dealing with today.
I know, almost 70 yesterday. I, on my walk, had sleet and some snowflakes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, quite the change. And speaking of snowflakes, we have a little bit on live Doppler 13 radar. It's what we were tracking coming out of Iowa and Illinois during our early evening newscasts. And it actually held together. And as we know, it doesn't take a lot of snow to cause big problems. Even a thin coating can lead to some slick roads, especially if they're untreated. And we are tracking a little bit of snow now pushing east of Lafayette, just north along Interstate 65, over toward Delphi. This will continue to move south and east toward Flora. It's into Flora now, so Kokomo, you may get a little bit of light snow. This is really the last of this weather system developing along a boundary that's separating the cold air from the warm air. We were on the cold side of things tomorrow, and tomorrow morning we start the day in the upper 20s, but we're going to end the day in the low 50s. And Scott mentioned Saturday being the pick of the weekend. That's because we're forecasting some sunshine and highs in the low 70s.
Wow.
On Saturday afternoon. So spring, Indiana famous for some big spring swings, and we've definitely had that the last couple of days, and that'll continue into the weekend.
I've always felt like March is the cruelest month in Indiana because you get so close to spring break. you get a 70 thrown in, then you get a little snow, and then some rain, and then some, it's kind of all over the map.
It can be all over the place. And on my walk today, I'm like, you know, I'm ready for some buds on the trees.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the grass to turn green. I'm getting ready.
You and me both. Lots of people praying for Ukraine tonight. We've got Sean, Tanya. Kim loves your dress.
Oh, thank you.
So Kim loves Angela's dress tonight, saying it's very pretty.
It's the sleeves.
There you go. Jan praying for Ukraine tonight. Fulton says it is National Oreo Cookie Day.
Oh, and isn't Oreo Cookie celebrating a big birthday, like 100 or 150?
Good question. He wants to know what your favorite flavor is. I didn't realize there were other flavors.
Yeah, like Christmas time they do the peppermint,
Yeah.
I think, don't they?
I'm not really a fan.
Don't they do orange around Halloween?
You know, do they do the whole pumpkin thing?
Roscoe.
We're asking
Pumpkin
Roscoe.
spice. Oreos. Come on now.
Okay. Hey, if you like Oreos, let us know in the comments section.
I guess they do chocolate, like double chocolate, don't they?
But the double stuff, that's probably the only kind I'm going for.
Yeah.
And I love the cookie blizzards at DQ.
Yeah. Now, I like regular Oreos, and I also like the Oreo Thins, because you feel like that's a tad healthier than a regular Oreo, even though it's probably not.
Right. Tina is with us tonight. We've got Robbie joining us. Liz is back with us tonight. Carla, Deb, Mary is watching. Oh, Mary says Hoosiers watching from Florida on a short vacation.
Oh,
Lucky Mary.
nice, Mary. It's been warm down in Florida. It's been in the 80s.
Yeah. So a lot of Facebook friends joining us tonight. Thought, given obviously what we've been seeing in Ukraine for the better part of a week and a half, we thought we'd end on some good news. And Dave Calabro always brings us that here on Thursday night. Here's his report from Noblesville.
Hi everybody, Dave Calabro hanging out. It's time for some good news on this Thursday night. We all like to support local businesses. You got to check out Mercantile 37 in Noblesville. This place is like Cheers. Let's go.
If you remember the sitcom Cheers, you know, everybody knows your name and everybody's family, and that's what's important. Because I think a lot of people miss out on the hometownness and being together.
You guys are responsible for me gaining about 15 pounds, by the way, because every time I come in here, I can't avoid the food.
That's good news, because we have good food. And when you go next door, you can not only find Indiana-made products, but JR and his son, Nick, make all kinds of furniture that is absolutely gorgeous.
So JR, you came up with this crazy idea. This is your place, Mercantile 37.
It is. My son and I had the idea of bringing our local, our lighting that we created locally, and then he had the connection with the local artists and makers. Turned into over 125 today local artists that are represented in the building. Another 30 food manufacturers from Indiana in the building.
Kind of fun, isn't it?
A lot of fun.
How proud are you that you have all Indiana products too? Given the pandemic, you were able to stay alive and do this.
Absolutely, we thrive.
Okay, so I ask you about good news. What comes to mind?
My good news is that I can see clearly because I've had cataract surgery.
So what's the difference like?
Night and day. I mean, it's so bright and clear because your blue that you have on is very blue,
Yeah.
where before it was cloudy.
So now you're like, oh man, Calabro needs to do some work on his hair. He's got issues here now that you can really see me, right?
I'm not going to say that.
The reason that we come here is for the good news, because it starts to become like a big family. Everybody checks on each other every week. If you're not here, it's a great place not only to get your food, but it's a great place to kind of refresh your soul.
That looks really cool. I've never been there.
I haven't either now. I have driven by
Yeah.
because it's near, I believe, where 13 intersects 37, give or take. But I Googled it because I'm going to put it on my list because he wasn't kidding about the food.
Yeah.
They have paninis and they have
you go.
some breakfast items.
Road trip.
I'm all about breakfast and a little shopping too. You can't beat that.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's on
all
my list.
Indiana stuff. A lot of folks checking out tonight. Tanny wants to know what's everyone's good news. So, how about you? Got any good news?
Everyone's good news.
You know, while you're thinking about it,
you
so
go.
I celebrated my granddaughter's one-year birthday today, and then tomorrow I get a chance to see my grandbaby boys, who are identical twins, and so I'm going to get a chance to spend time with them. So look, being a grandfather is the best job that's out there. So, yeah, that's my good news.
That is great news. I would say my good news is I got FaceTimes by both of my kids today.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, and not kids, 18 and 20. So, but yeah, when they FaceTime, it always makes me happy because I miss their faces on a day-to-day basis.
That's awesome. And a lot of people weighing in on the whole Oreo.
All right, thanks, Fulton.
Yeah, Fulton generating that this was, National Oreo Day. Renita says March 6th, Oreo celebrates first sold in 1912.
Okay, so 110.
Something like that. I was never very good in math.
110.
That's why I'm doing the news. Tara says, I love blonde Oreos. Let's see. Daniel says, you give me a pack of double stuffs and I can be entertained all weekend. Tanya loves the mint Oreos. Oh, I would love the mint Oreos.
Yeah, I like mint, but I think I'm traditional. Again, Oreo thins. They're thin.
And Kim says, I'm a purist with my Oreos. I have to have the original ones. Kim, I think a lot of people are with you on that. All right, so in case they missed your forecast, wake up weather tomorrow?
Wake up weather is cold. You'll need the coat in the morning, but you won't need it tomorrow afternoon. Low 50s, and then we warm by 20 into the low 70s for Saturday.
70. Make your outdoor plans for Saturday. Be sure to join Angela and myself coming up tonight. 13 News at 11. We'll see you then. Good night.